So we're talking about George's new book, Forward Together, and I want to just build on that last concept, George. So for those who haven't read it yet, why not? Second thing is you've divided it up. Part one is six principles
Yeah.
with, helping people lead with like who they want to be and what they believe
Yep.
in. But then the second part is, I think, six more
The perspectives. Yep.
perspectives. And I thought it was really cool. The way that I've made sense of this is I can carry the different principles into those perspectives. Or,
Yep.
scenarios isn't the right word. So, but it's like it helps me see how the principles could apply, but then make my own path and maybe even carry different principles into different perspectives. So, can you lend us any insights that you want to make sure we hit on the perspectives?
Yeah. And it's the perspectives is the sense that so the principles are like the big ideas. Like, hey, these are things that I think is really important that we hold true to. And like, for example, point at yourself first, like elevate others to see in your current build community, right? These are really important concepts. The whatever book you're reading, whatever it is, if it's like four four foundational elements of whatever, or five of this, three of this, whatever. Anyone who writes a book and says, if you do these four things, they will work perfectly is lying to you, right? That is the thing. They never work perfectly. There's always nuance. There's always things that go wrong because the those principles are basically the consistent thing. The variable is people, right? And how people react to stuff. So the perspectives are to say like, hey, when things go wrong, how do you take a step back to hold on to your principles and really kind of like, hey, here's some stories that might, help you kind of get through some of the stuff. And you're seeing this a lot in the world today. Cause I look like when it is hardest, that's when your principles matter the most. And I think that's why the perspectives are really crucial. It's like, hey, this is really hard. It's like, for example, point at yourself first. There's a lot of time I can just say, you did it wrong, you did this, and because of whatever frustrating thing. And it's like, hey, like, listen, you can do that, but that's not really helping you. And I
And
think
that's our visceral
yeah,
response a lot of times as human. Like when I'm driving down the road and someone doesn't use their blinker or slams on the brake,
yeah,
I'm not pointing at myself saying, Brad, you should increase your following distance.
yeah,
I'm mad at whatever they did. But the reality is
right.
usually if I check myself first, there are some things I could that are helpful to think about. I do love your I hesitate to point these out because I love them all, but like somebody hates you, that perspective,
People love that one.
so helpful. I mean, honestly, trying to have this internal bar of it's just not healthy or helpful to try to not have that happen in life.
Yep.
I mean, no one really relishes not being liked, but just giving yourself like if you're leading with principles in mind and you care about others,
Yep.
some people still are probably not going to be your biggest fans, and maybe that's okay.